So I'm here with Ralph Macchio, and I'm really honored to have him on with us. This is about Long Islanders for Long Island, and you can't get more Long Island than Ralph Macchio. He's a famous movie star, and unlike other movie stars, he's still here on Long Island. And unlike other movie stars, he fell in love with his high school sweetheart and is still married to her after all these years. So he's a little outside the box. But what's impressive to me about you, Ralph, and we've never really spoken, like we know each other through mutual friends, is that how many people in their lifetime are stars of two movies that they're the type of movies that when they come on TV or you go to some type of streaming thing and you watch it, you can watch it 1,000 times. There are a couple movies in the history of movies. There are a couple movies like that. You can't watch them enough. The Karate Kid and My Cousin Vinny. It doesn't matter how many times you watch them. It's like the first time. And that's got to be such a great feeling that you can make so many people around the world feel so good. And you do. So
Listen, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's amazing. The Karate Kid certainly is in the zeitgeist still to this day, and with the Cobra Kai series we now have on, which is picking it up 36 years later, and just the fans have just come to this big groundswell of revisiting these characters, yet telling fresh original stories. And My Cousin Vinny, to me, I call it the late for dinner movie, because if it's on, you're going to be late for dinner because you just have, it's just like one more setup pays off, next setup pays off. Interesting, those films are so different, but yet it's still overcoming the obstacles and rooting for the underdog at the end of the day. And I have a couple, I've gotten lucky more than a few times, and over my shoulder I see I have The Outsiders poster up there, which is another film that launched a bunch of careers. So I'm blessed in that way, and especially during this time, to be able to shed a little bit of warmth, positivity, light through storytelling and touch people in a certain way. I'm just the lucky guy who got the part.
Well, no, you did more. I think it's a little more than luck. It's the right place,
maybe.
the right person, the right time. And you just touched upon the new series you're in. I was reading about that. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Yes, Cobra Kai is turned out to be a big hit. Our third season is coming up soon. We're waiting on the release date of that and where that's going to land. It's taking the Daniel LaRusso character of the Karate Kid franchise, who I played, and the Johnny Lawrence character, who William Zabka played as the ultimate jerk of the 80s at the time, and putting these two guys together 35 years later, and their high school rivalry is still palpable and relevant to each of them, but it more involves the current day generation now. So we are using nostalgia and clips and flashbacks to what that original story and movie was about, these two guys constantly butting heads, and then launching into stories of the next generation and how martial arts and Miyagi-isms and Cobra Kai theories work toward and against each other. And it's a lot of pop culture fun, but it also resonates in a kind of a real, compelling, relevant way. And so it's been exciting. Season 3 is coming up soon, and the fans have been awesome.
Where can people watch it?
Right now it's on YouTube Premium. So you could go to YouTube and you just put in Cobra Kai. You could see the first 2 episodes of season 1 for free, the first episode of season 2. You got to go behind the paywall if you want the whole series, but I think that may be changing, so we're getting that information soon, and we just want to keep it going.
So
we can't, but we are planning on it.
So one thing I think everyone would want to know: do you know martial arts?
I fake it as not as well now as I did back in 1984. Listen, I know the basics. It's much tougher in my 50s than it was in my early 20s. Just like everything else.
The only martial arts I know is to call 911.
That's right. That's the perfect one. Yes, I always remember taking in school my I forget who told me, it was my dad or someone, take wrestling and track, because if you can't take them down, then just be able to run. Yeah. And that character has done that.
So now, everybody is social distancing and they're staying by themselves, but you have a different perspective of this because, you're home now and doing your projects, but there's someone in your life who's actually on the front line, right? I mean, your
Hmm.
wife is a nurse practitioner, and she's
Yes.
actively. So, what's it like for her? Could you tell us a little about her?
It's been challenging. I mean, she is not necessarily an OR nurse. She's the palliative nurse practitioner at Mather Hospital on in Port Jefferson, and it is you know very draining for everyone on in working in healthcare. And she is a lot of what she does is are the consults, the family consults, and dealing with these circumstances and way far too often tragedies, and sort of having to um, palliative medicine, for those who don't know, is dealing with pain management and sort of the end of life care, or right before then. If I'm getting that wrong, she will scold me. Um, but it is challenging, and obviously the cases are coming fast and furious, and just unfathomable how you know how devastating this is to everyone, especially the healthcare workers on the front lines, the heroes on the planet right
Well, she's needed now more than ever. I know I'm an interventional cardiologist, usually saving lives every day, and now I'm taking lessons from people like your wife,
now. Hmm.
dealing with grief and families and trying to get people through it. So she's
Yeah,
really critically needed at this point in our lives. But
yeah,
we're looking forward to getting to see more of positive things like you
yes,
out in the
yes.
movies. And I couldn't thank you enough for spending some time with us. And I appreciate anybody who helps Long Island. The Long Island is for Long Island, to help the hospitals, to help the people here. And thank you so much, Ralph. It was great meeting you on this.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate being involved, and here, and my friends and family, and anything we could do to support the people fighting the big fight out there. I'm all in.